What I was gonna say,
Yeah.
man, is like I could see how someone who made an Illmatic in a pivotal year like '94 and saw everybody around him, the Brad included, and that's no shade, it's just being honest, outsell him, but he hears all this adulation from the people about this effort. And so I could see as an artist and as somebody who is competitive in this sport we call hip hop, how he's like, well, yeah, I mean, y'all are saying all this great stuff about Illmatic, but it didn't do 36, enter the 36 chambers numbers. It didn't do Ready to Die numbers. And I feel like in '94, it didn't even do Functified numbers. So it's like, how does that make an artist feel who put not only their heart and soul into something, but made a game changing effort that anybody and everybody who sees that acknowledges that? And it's not like, because I know we talk about Illmatic being a shadow casted over him when he's always chasing. They always put it in different articles whenever he puts out a new effort. But at least when it comes to Doggy Style, which is similar for Snoop in certain ways, at least
Mhm.
Doggy Style did the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can live with that when that one effort that people are, always hanging over your head did crazy numbers. But with Illmatic, it's hanging over his head, and it didn't even do the numbers.
It That's Mike. When I pulled up here and I was like, his core base needs to make it make sense. That's what I'm talking about. Let's unpack a few things right quick, just factually about what happened. Illmatic comes out April 21st, 1994, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do a little rundown of what's going on in music, because here's what people have to understand. From about, I'd say, 85 up until The Chronic came out, Mike, if you sold 500,000, you were legendary. If you went platinum, you were epic. If you were lucky enough to go more than 1 million records and get close to 2 million, which very, very few rap artists were doing, if any, it was like being stamped. People need to understand The Chronic, when it came out, did 4 million albums. Mike, The Chronic outsold Ice Cube's first 2 albums.
I mean, for an
America's
album,
Most and Death Certificate sales match The Chronic sales.
and you know what? Saying that to say, Death Certificate in America's Most, those were astronomical sales at the time as well.
Those, no. So people are acting like numbers don't matter. Let's talk about everybody who was considered to be the man. You want to know why LL was the man, Mike? Because he was on the radio and he was going gold and platinum in a time when other people weren't. Do you want to know why Rakim was the man in the street? Because Rakim was the only dude that they were saying was spitting that street shit that was going gold every time he came out. All of the albums went gold.
Right.
That meant something. When Mike, when NWA popped up and did 2 million with Straight Outta Compton, you feel me? That was groundbreaking and legendary. Public Enemy wasn't doing NWA numbers.
Public
Okay?
Enemy was doing numbers though.
They weren't doing NWA numbers. NWA was doubling their numbers instantaneously. When Ice Cube, part of how Ice Cube got crowned the best rapper is because, Mike, he was making the best solo albums, but he was outselling all the other solo artists who came before him and were his contemporaries. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is 1990, 91, 92, 93.
Yeah.
He's not just making the best work, Mike. He is outselling the other solo rappers. Don't Sweat the Technique is not outselling America's Most. Okay? The Low End Theory is not outselling America's Most, Mike.
No, it wasn't.
You feel me? So Q being the man, numbers had something to do with that. And then Dre upped the ante and did 4 mil with The Chronic. But then we get to late 94.
93.
Late 93. Mike. 3 albums. Mike. Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. That's why I'm wearing my Wu-Tang shirt today, because this is the main reason Illmatic didn't do the numbers it was supposed to do. It is. Mike, Doggy Style.
Yeah.
Doggy Style. And Midnight Marauders. Not only are these seminal projects by these artists, but Mike, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 songs right here that are probably 5 of the 15 greatest rap songs ever released as a single. And they all got made right before Illmatic came out. And this is also at a time where, because of what Dre had did with NWA and what Cube had did, and then Dre come with NWA and then Cube and then Dre. No, the West Coast made these numbers matter because they weren't as dope as the rappers, but they were moving more units. They changed the narrative of the conversation, and the music was comparable, if not better.
Let me guess the 5 singles. I
Go
got
ahead.
Cream.
Yep.
I got Award Tour.
Yep.
I got Electric Relaxation.
Yep.
I got What's My Name by Snoop. I got Gin and Juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, that's before we got Juicy and Funkdafied and Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music afterwards. All of which, and I bring up these singles, Juicy, Funkdafied, and Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, all helped catapult those artists to platinum sales after Illmatic dropped.
Well, Players Ball is out there in the lexicon too, but yeah.
Players Ball is before Illmatic dropped, though. That's why I'm bringing up Southern Playalistic, the second single, because Outkast didn't go platinum until Southern Playalistic Get Up, Get Out time, not Players Ball time. Gotcha. They didn't go platinum immediately.
Okay.
Like, Cream came out and got released as a single on January 31st of 1994. That's enough to have the East Coast on lock for the year.
It is. It is.
That's enough to have the East Coast on lock for a year. Mike, they followed Cream up literally less than a month later by releasing Can It Be Also Simple on February 22nd.
What about METHOD?
That was so that's the order. Protect Your Neck, then Method Man, and then Cream.
Gotcha.
Right.
And
Protect Your Neck. Remember, Method Man's the B-side to Protect Your Neck.
Right. You're right.
Right.
Let me get to these super chats real quick.
Protect Your Neck is August of 93. Method Man is November of 93, so that's still burning too. So think about this. Protect Your Neck, Method Man, Cream, and Can It All Be So Simple are all still floating on New York radio when Illmatic drops.
Wow.
Tell me that don't matter.
That affects it. I mean, singles, especially in that day, and I think even now, and we talk about this when we talk about streaming, singles are what's going to sell your album. Hold
on. People forget this, Mike. Chess Boxing and Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With haven't been released
yet. Andrew Green with the super chat says, Hit Boy tweeted, it's looking good, ... Okay.
Yeah, it's going up.
It's going up. Let me get to some of these other super chats. LP says, so Nas do the same thing other artists do, only focus on the negative. Tell them to find another platform where he gets this amount of respect. I don't think it's focusing on the negative. It's just trying to correct the situation.
You're on, but you're off base. I get what you're saying. What you have to understand is this is what I really did. This is what I was telling you, Mike. Remember when I was texting you when I was talking to the source? I was excited, Mike, because all the things that we have been theorizing and thought might have been a conspiracy about how the media feels about him and treats him, well, I got confirmation from inside the camp that it's real. And so anybody that's believed anything that we've said about how the media has skewed and slandered him, it's like, Mike, I got people that I don't want to be around in public settings, even though we have mutual friends, just because how they have talked about me in this city. You feel me? And so, although, of course, I would like him to pull up and talk to us, I do understand the murky waters we are dealing with. People need to understand the level of the slander. He gets tagged by the media as an abuser and somebody who is trying to reach Jay-Z's level. Now, how do you think he takes that?
LP with the super chat says,
I wouldn't be kind about that shit to any of you.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says, Leroy and Miss Mo hurt them like that? I wasn't even in the chat like that. Y'all are wilding.
No. It's not about the chat. This is what I mean. It's about a tone. I want people to understand this. And I know this for a fact. The tone of the fan base has changed. I'm going to tell you what. I used to be on, when all of the Jay stuff was originally going on and he was getting like put through the mud, Mike, I jumped up on the Nas channel because it seemed like you couldn't get anything or find anything for about a year and a half. And I think, respectfully, this is around the time, as he alluded to in his music later, around the time his mother got sick, which is probably part of the reason why it was harder to see his material. Because for Mike, if you were a fan of his, from the time that he came out until the beat started with J.O. Mike, there was a ton of material. That's why I'd be like, oh, well, he don't really work. I was like, are you crazy? It's like I hear shit every day all the time from Nas. This shit crazy.
A lot of
94 to 2000, this nigga crazy dropping records. So I'm hearing everything slow down a little bit after Nostradamus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can remember being on one of his fan page websites. It's like NasHipHopSite.com or something like that. It had the cover from I Am on the original cover from I Am with him blowing the smoke out on there and all that. No, I remember that fan base being galvanized. Like, I can remember when Ether dropped, how those motherfuckers made sure Ether was everywhere, Mike. I was getting notifications on my old cell phone back when cell phones didn't used to get notifications like that. And my shit was blowing up on the old fucking flip phones and shit. Like, they were serious then.
No, you're right, because I remember even when Ether dropped and, Hot 97 had the whole vote thing and, what I'm saying, like, who won or whatever, and the fans, they crowned Nas that winner, and he was the people's champ.
67%, Mike, if memory serves. That's what I mean. That's what he's talking about. No, that base was galvanized. I remember moving, and part of the reason why I joined
his base was younger at that point, though,
Right. I moved from Greensboro to Atlanta. This is right before 9/11, Mike. This is 2 days before 9/11 hit when I moved down here. No, that fan base was galvanized about him. It was him in his prime. Listen to what I'm saying. He's having his prime again. What do you want if you're having your prime again? Well, you want your fans back in the stands that they were for your prime again.
Yeah.
Mike, if Michael Jordan were to come back and be able to feasibly play basketball, there would not be less people in the stands now, would there?
No.
There'd be this. Mike, wouldn't we all be there if Michael Jordan came back and there was a Hawks game and it was a Friday night and that was our only chance to go? Mike, would we be doing this show?
No, we're going to have to change some things around.
We'll have to change the date to a Thursday or a Saturday. We'll have to do a Thursday night or a Saturday morning. You feel me?
Right.
And so when people are like, oh, he's being negative, no.
He just wants that
I remember what the prime fandom was like. And this is what I was saying. No, he's giving us prime material.
So
you were paid prime material with prime fandom. Right.
Yeah.
So stop making it seem like this nigga and his source is asking for some shit that's unreasonable. No, he just gave us KD1, KD2, and Magic. The last time he did some shit like that, Mike, he gave us Stillmatic, Godson, and the Lost Tapes.
Facts.
36
Chambers with a super chat says, I'm all for streaming, but the artist sees more from my physical purchase than the 10,000 streams for me. I'll be buying every physical format for an artist I really support, then stream for convenience. And I think that's perfectly fine, too.
That is, but that's not what this is about. Nas has money from other ventures. He makes the least amount of money for rap. This is not him making money off of you. He wants the numbers to reflect the quality so he can keep giving you the quality product. Stop thinking that
but I think that the physical
sales... The nigga don't need no rap money. Have you been paying attention to the last 10 years?
But no, I think that the physical sales go to the set.
No, it does.
I could be more misquoting.
The source told me.
Yeah.
The physical copy sale of it is not the problem. Nas is outselling these guys in physical copy sales because we some old heads who buy physical copies.
They want to see the streaming numbers reflect.
Mike, because the streams are where the numbers reflect consistently and concurrently and circulate and cycle. And so here's what I want to submit to people. You go buy the copy, you play it, that's cool. No, what she's talking about is picking an app, a streaming service app, typing Nas's name in, putting a song of his in, and letting that playlist run and be dictated by Nas and Nas songs. And when you run those playlists like that, what do you get usually every 5 to 7 songs? You get a song from the artist who runs the playlist. That's how you stream. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I know that cats are buying Magic and buying the vinyl and supporting it. No. You understand, we living in a different world. And what really the source was telling me is like, can this fan base that says he's the greatest MC of all time step outside of their box and stream his music after they buy it?
Well,
I don't think that's too much to ask from Nas, seeing how he's given us 5 or 6 or 7 classic albums, maybe the best rap career ever. This is the first guy you hear, the first New York guy you hear rapping with Scarface, the first New York guy you hear on a Dr. Dre production. Yeah, that's him. So I'm asking, so when his source is telling me, hey, you think his core base would like to stream his album, the second week after it comes out? No, she not talking crazy. She not catfishing me or gassing me, because I'm thinking like, well, that's not really a whole lot to ask given what he's giving us music-wise. Now, is it? When you look at it from that perspective, is asking you to stream Nas's music the second week on a platform that maybe you're not familiar with, or maybe take an hour out of your day so that your favorite artist does the numbers that he's supposed to? You're telling me that that's too much, Mike? Because if Prince were to ask me to do that shit, Mike, I would hang up on you. I would hang up on you, be like, Prince asked me to do something, Mike. Fuck you.
Well, I think I need to
going to stream Purple Rain right now. He said he needs 19 million streams of Purple Rain. I'm going to play Baby I'm a Star. It's my least favorite song on the album.
Is it? Huh.
It is. Baby I'm a Star is my least favorite song.
Huh.
Yes.
I like that song, but I feel you. What I was gonna say is,
it's the one time for your mind of Purple Rain.
I never really looked at it like that because I like the song. I think at first
it's just easy. It's so easy for him to make that record.
Take Me With You might have been, but I think over time I
love Take Me With You.
It's a beautiful.
I love Take Me With You.
Yeah.
It's so infectious.
Yeah.
I see Apollonia on the motorcycle and everything, except for it's me with Apollonia on the motorcycle, not Prince. Fuck all that.
Well, I needed to be educated on how to stream too, because you're educating me on that, because I didn't know that there was a right and wrong way to actually stream.
Hold on. I knew some things, Mike, when she brought up the whole download the album, then delete, then play. I didn't know that. She fucked my day up. That's what I'm saying. No, she's solid. She was hitting me with some stuff. Like, I knew about Shazam and like how to set up things where you're like literally streaming the music. That's what streaming services are for, is to stream the music and to set up playlists, and for those songs to get played, get certain type of hits and fall into a database. But she was explaining shit to me about how Twitter can help. Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know Twitter can help you get streams? That's part of why their rollout. That's part of why their rollout is so heavy on Twitter, because Twitter is one of those things that they found where they see a gap where it can help you get streams. I didn't even know that. I still haven't researched the whole how Twitter gets you stream things. So there is some education and information that needs to be spread around. But we need not be vilified for spreading the education and information around, because we've been nothing but a credible source to our people from the moment that we stepped up. So when I'm saying that I have a source and the source is saying credible and viable things, oh, she teaching you shit about streaming and me shit about streaming that we didn't know. And I thought I was streaming the nigga music.
Yeah. Solutions with the super chat says, please explain the streaming again. That's an old super chat. So you just did that.
Right. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what I told her. I said, you need to do a streaming tutorial. She hit me back and said, I did one 6 years ago. I was like, you need to repost that shit.
Yeah, for real. Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, 48 Coop buy CD. And that's it. Nas is my favorite artist. I have to learn how to stream. I guess to scream. He said, all right. Uncle Fran with the super chat says, I cannot believe the source feels that this is not the perfect platform for Nas to interview. That should be the perfect gift here. A win-win. Andrew Green with the super chat says, I'm sorry. Nas scores a #1 album with KD3. Then he'll be the first rapper to do so in 4 different decades. Nas, Jay-Z, Wayne, Kanye, and Eminem all have #1s in 3 different decades. Interesting. What were you about to say, Coop?
No, hold on. What was the last super chat? The one before that?
Well, Uncle Fran was talking about, I can't believe that the source doesn't feel like this is the perfect platform for Nas to interview. He said he should feel like this is the perfect gift here. It's a win-win. So
I want to discuss that too. It's like, maybe the source needs to hear this too. It's like, and I kind of told her this too. It's like, well, I really don't want to interview fam. And here's what I mean. Like, for everything that's happened to him in the media, I kind of just want to ride with him around the A and see what he wants to talk about. Because just being able to get him in the whip and get to roll around with him is the thing. I don't want it coming off like an interview, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it's become very clear to me from following his career, from following the media slander, from talking to the source, from what we've done here at According to Hip Hop. Oh, well, he's not comfortable in interview spaces, and rightfully so. And so the best thing that I was thinking about to remove that lack of comfort about an interview is like, well, fuck the interview shit. Like I heard him talking about, like, remember you talking about getting a thick one at Papados? It's like, oh no, Mike, the Papados over here about 15 minutes from my house. Like we can go pull up, you know what I'm saying, have some drinks, chop it up. Like, you know me, Mike, you know how I get down, Mike. I like the flow. And so I really want to set up a situation where he feels like, it's like, no, we just gonna flow for a day. Because you know how I be through the city. It's like, I really just want to, like, we go grab some food, hit the mall, ride through the city, show the nigga where I'm riding through shit, and really just let the nigga talk his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's afforded him that opportunity because everybody wants to interview him. And it's like, nah, fuck that. It's like, you're the GOAT and you're 30 years in. Why don't you just hop in my whip and talk your shit? Like whatever it is that you want to talk. Because Mike, you and I already know, we talked about this. Well, we definitely don't want to talk about her. And the source then told me it's not beneficial to talk about him. But go ahead and take that off the table. Yeah. Everything else open for me. It's flex. You know we don't want to talk about her. That don't help according to hip hop at all.
No. There's a million places you can go to get all that kind of
stuff. Especially with him, Mike, we can stay on some music shit with him and be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, per dumb it down, maybe Nas should make a deal with Luminary to get a bag.
I love that idea. Can I tell you something? You want to know why Talib is really mad? If Kanye were to pull up on Luminary and drop an album, that shit would already be like 4 or 5 million in. I'm not even lying. If Kanye asked you to pay $5 a month to hear his album, oh Mike, I told you I was at Donda. Oh no, he got that type of following. He can do that. That's what I've been saying about them. I don't have a problem with what you're doing. Do you understand who you are? You can't do that. No, Kanye can pull up on Luminary next to Dave Chappelle and say, spend $5 a month to listen to my album every month. That nigga made The College Dropout, Late Registration. He's the executive producer of B. He made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He appears to be the soundscape behind The Blueprint. He made Daytona. You want me to keep fucking going? You get what I'm saying? No, that nigga get to pull up on Luminary and charge $5 a month. You damn right.
You know what burns even more? Even with all the stuff that Talib is out here saying on Instagram, on social media, if Kanye went to the people at Luminary, they would put him on their platform.
Immediately. No, if Kanye said, no, listen to me. If Kanye said, put me on and take them off, they would do that too. Straight up.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I think the 1 week spot in Nas's catalog is his bangers. After KD3, I would like to see him experiment more with younger artists, boom bap out with Nas.
I think you're probably gonna get that.
Probably is going to happen. 36 Chambers says,
you might get that on KD3 some, I think. I got a sneaky feeling. I think there's some sneaky collabs on KD3 that people may not be expecting. I haven't gotten any word yet, but
36 Chambers with the super chat says, do you think that we're getting any any Seath releases from anyone this year? I guess sneak releases from anyone this year. With KD3 getting announced, are we expecting any more big releases in 2022? I mean, Westside Gunn being Friday, I think, is big to me. I mean, because you never know what to expect with Westside, especially with the Hitler Wears Herman's, series. Has he changed that name yet? Never mind. It's hot out here, man. Blue Collar Hustler with the super chat says, source is 100% real. I gave Coop props last week in the chat and speaking the truth to power and holding Nas down on A2HH. Appreciate that, Blue Collar Hustler. You guys have been great. I think we're gonna end up kind of closing this out, man. We're like 3.5 hours in. Yeah. Let me see if we can get to the rest of these super chats. Is there something else you would like to add?
No, I mean that's everything that I just wanted to go over. Hold on, no. Let's finish with the Illmatic thing. Close out on this note about why this album didn't move. So we got Cream, January 31st. Mm-hmm. Can It Be Also Simple, February 22nd. Mike, Electric Relaxation drops February 28th. Gin and Juice dropped at the beginning of January and was number 1 on the rap charts until June. As soon as Gin and Juice went number 1 off the rap charts, they dropped Doggy Dog World. So he's literally all year. Juicy drops August 9th. Funkdafied drops May 13th. He is literally dealing with some of the best rap singles and classic rap albums of all time, shrouded around this album that gets released in late spring. You get what I'm saying?
There was heavily bootlegged as well that was forced to come out when it did because it was so much,
And can I
bootlegging
say
going on.
something?
Hmm.
Sonically, and I mean this respectfully, when you go listen to it, the other stuff around the time feels more current in terms of the sound, and that's what I mean about Illmatic being a timepiece.
Yeah.
Illmatic doesn't sound like 1994. Illmatic sounds like 1990. It's just done better. It's 85 to 94.
Right.
But that sound that's starting to emanate from Dre and Snoop on the West, and Wu-Tang, and Big and Puff on the way. No, that's what 90, Brad, Outkast, that's what 93, 94 really looked like. Illmatic's an outlier in 94 because it's a real hardcore East Coast hip hop album. It's actually a couple of years too late.
Mm.
You feel me? If Illmatic comes out in 92, it's totally different.
I agree with you. Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, Coop, Nas's new music is gonna age just as well over the new generation as well as new rappers. I'm sorry, just as well the new rappers don't have the quotables, Mike. You're right. Just listen to the music. It stands the best of time. Yeah, it does. And I think that's what we're saying about Illmatic. Even though that it wasn't the hottest thing on the radio in relation to those records, the whole project as a whole stands up like an Electric Relaxation stands up today. Um, and like you said, you're right. Outside of Midnight Marauders, in my opinion, though, and Doggy Style's kind of an outlier too sonically, but the rest of those albums sound like 1994. The rest of those songs sound like 94.
See, no, I think Doggy Style sounds like 94 too, Mike, because
Yeah.
here's what people don't understand is that, man, Snoop had 94 on lock, really, if you really want to talk about it,
Oh, yeah.
Mike. When I really thought about it, it's like Murder Was the Case. What's My Name? Doggy Dog World. Ain't No Fun. Gin and Juice. It's like, no, Snoop came out late 93. That's all 94. And so you got Doggy Style and Ready to Die's commercial appeal the year Illmatic comes out to deal with.
Yeah.
So he's dealing with Juicy and Big Papa and all the Doggy Style hit records.
Yeah.
That's just
And
some
then
Snoop
on the
Big.
street level, Wu-Tang.
That's what I mean. This is what hurt because here's the thing: where he was going to win was in the streets. But Mike, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
That's real. Billy Barnes in the super chat says, "What do you think Jay-Z gonna drop on 11/11? LOL. He ain't dropping nothing. Might be a feature. Who knows?" 36 Chambers says, "What kind of press do you think the KD3 is going to get? I'm betting the Pitchfork gives it a 6 out of 10. Other outlets don't even discuss it like that." Shaking my head. I think that if it drops and it's really great, they're not even gonna rate it. That's what I.
So they're probably not going to rate it. So I'm going to tell you what we're probably going to do, Mike. Probably the Wednesday before it drops, we're going to call out all the publications.
I like
and
it.
We're going to challenge them to rate this album and rate this album fairly so that we know the media is not being unbiased towards him. We're going to call them out directly and call them to the carpet.
We should pull up prior reviews and stuff too.
If you're doing your job as a journalist and a music journalist in this business, this is a 30-year vet on one of rap's greatest runs, arguably his greatest run.
One of music's greatest runs.
Mike, in my opinion, music's greatest late run.
Yeah.
In the history of music, this is music's greatest late run. It is your duty as somebody, if you're a music journalist with integrity, to cover this project.
Properly.
And so I'm going to call out these publications. And if they don't, Mike, it's going to be 8K. What the nigga face say on the diary? Nigga, you ain't seen my trunk. I got an 8K and an SK and a 12 gauge. That'll fuck a nigga whole day. That's the type of shit I'm going to be on Friday and on Monday. And on Wednesday,
in a journalistic way, we got to be very clear out here. In a journalistic way, we got to be very clear out here.
Yes, no.
Godfather with the super chat says, "I was up north when Ether dropped, and I was going hard with the all right, there we go. I was up north when Ether dropped, and I was going hard with the Brooklyn dudes over that. Yeah, it became a thing. Well, let me get to the last super chats and we'll get up out of here and get ready for Friday, man. It's been a great show. I know y'all just, didn't agree with everything we said, but these are the great dialogues we love, man. Born King says G-Rap was the first New York rapper to feature Scarface.
It's correct. That's my bad. They're right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They're right.
Is there any other super chats? We didn't even get to our Face and Cube face off, but Andrew Green with the super chat says, I think Illmatic didn't do numbers because SWV right here released before It Ain't Hard to Tell as a major single. It would have been huge with that sample. I agree with that too. 36 Chamber says Nas needs to get his flowers on social media from his peers. Yep. If another rapper now ever says, ever says they use him as inspiration, then they need to big up KD3. I think that's a good place to start. The fans are gonna do what the fans do, but I hate to say it, guys, we can't expect anything from our entertainers. But Nas has proven that he'll go out there and support AZ, Doa Da too, and support Cormega's the realness too, and that goes a long way, man. That can't be understated.
It would be nice if some of these younger artists who do claim to be fans of his, like it would be nice to see like Corday and Fabio, and A Boogie, and all these guys go like retweet KD3 when it come out, be like, King talk from the King.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get up out of here, man. Great show, great dialogue, and we'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah.